not quitting, the tough night for pretty much everybody. Heavy legs, that team was playing hard. Obviously, they want to beat us, so just sticking with it. I'm trying to be aggressive for my team and, just laying it all on the line.
Who would have thought the Houston Rockets would be making waves right now? Just a while back, we were all set to discuss their offseason and future, but guess what? They've surprised us all and are now in talks for the playoffs. Plus, some of their key players are having breakout performances. Let's start off with the Western Conference playoffs. What do you seriously think about it? Well, the playoffs were pretty much set, and Houston was on the outside looking in, but things changed. Houston's on a winning streak, and Jalen Green is lighting up the court with some big scores. Now, they might just sneak into the playoffs. Let's talk about Jalen Green. He's been on fire lately, especially since Alperen Sengun got injured. Green's shooting has improved a lot after the All-Star break, making him a key player for Houston. Before, he struggled with his shooting, but now he's hitting threes like never before. It's exciting to see how things are turning around for Houston. He's really stepped up his game lately, scoring an average of 23 points per game since the All-Star break. That's a big deal for Houston, both now and in the future. Jalen Green was a top pick for them, and they had high hopes, but he struggled at first. Now he's showing what he's capable of, especially with his improved shooting. If he can keep playing games like this, it's a game changer for Houston. They made big moves in the offseason because they weren't sure if Green would reach his potential, but now he's proving them wrong. They needed someone to step up in the backcourt, and they wanted to win games. Now Jalen Green is becoming a top scorer. If you've been following along, you might know that sometimes players have a big development after the All-Star break, but it doesn't always carry over to the next season. It's like what happened with Josh Jackson before. His numbers went up after the break, but it didn't last because teams weren't playing as hard. They're giving a lot of chances to players like Josh Jackson, who was a top pick, hoping he'll improve, but with Jalen Green, it's different. First, scoring in the league is down after the All-Star break, but he's scoring more, which is a good sign. Also, Houston is winning games. They've won 6 in a row and are trying hard to make the playoffs. It's not like those Phoenix teams with Josh Jackson, who are losing a lot and just giving him chances to improve. While Jalen Green is shining, not having Sheenu on the court has its pros and cons for him. It's interesting to see how it affects his opportunities, but let's not focus only on Jalen Green. Let's talk about the whole Houston team. They've got some exciting players on their roster. We can still like Jabari Smith and Jalen Thompson, but what we feel is that they are more like supporting players for Houston in the long run. They've got potential. However, it seems many don't see them as the main offensive force for the team's future. So if Jalen Green can step up or bring in someone else, Houston could have a really strong team. Shannon and Jalen are the main scorers, and Thompson and Smith are doing a bit of everything. Thompson has been playing well at the center recently because he's a great rebounder. There's a lot to like about Houston now. Just a few weeks ago, it seemed like they might have not made much progress this season, but a strong finish can totally change things for a team. After watching this, we are still not saying Houston will definitely follow the same path. But remember how Phoenix turned things around with Devin Booker? Well, it started with a strong performance in the bubble. Then they traded for Chris Paul, and suddenly they were in the finals. The end of the season can be crucial for teams like Houston, who are on the edge of making the playoffs. It boosts the confidence of young players and helps the organization plan for the future. And here's another big plus for Houston. They have lots of assets for the future. They control all the Nets' picks for the next few years, and they could still explore trading Jalen Green, as they talked about doing at the deadline. If Jalen Green keeps playing like he has been lately, it might be easier for Houston to consider trading players like Van Vliet or Dylan Brooks. They could use those pieces to strengthen the team in other areas. With players like Thompson, Smith, Shannon, and Green reaching their potential, Houston could build a really strong team foundation. It's surprising to talk about Houston in this way, considering we were mostly thinking about draft picks and offseason moves. Now, we're wondering if they can make a run in the playoffs and what their future holds. However, we should remember that this could just be Jalen Green's good streak. The Rockets are not giving up. They have a tough schedule ahead, facing teams like the Mavericks multiple times, but they found something special. They're playing fast. Jalen Green is improving a lot, and they're tough opponents. They fight hard every game and make winning plays on both offense and defense. Coach Ime Udoka has made them a strong defensive team, and the Warriors can't just expect an easy win. They'll have to work hard because the Rockets are here to stay. We must all agree that their new starting lineup is amazing. Jabari Smith Jr. at center is working really well, and Thompson's performance has been incredible. With 25 points and 15 rebounds last night, Jalen Green has been impressing me a lot lately. Coach Ime Udoka deserves credit too, considering all he's been through.
I said at the start of the year, like roles and minutes and those things are not handed out anymore, and guys will compete for those. And when you do the right things, you'll be on the court. And so it wasn't always a case of what some guys didn't do as much as what the others did. And
They're playing without pressure and just having fun. They remind me of those persistent kids from Scooby-Doo. They just won't go away, and they're fun to watch, so get ready to see them for a long time. With 10 wins in a row, they're in good company with the Boston Celtics. It's hard to say who'll get the 10th seed, the Warriors or the Rockets. We would usually go with the experienced Warriors, but because of the way the Rockets are playing, it's a tough bet against them. Jalen Green's been stepping up unbelievably. Jonathan Isaac is also stepping up big time for the Magic. Despite his past injuries, he's becoming one of the most dangerous bench players in the league. He's great at defense, which is key for the Magic because they struggle to score. Another team to watch in the East is the Pacers. They've been average on defense lately, but that's a big improvement for them. They have some really good defensive players like Draymond Green, Miles Turner, and Pascal Siakam. If they can keep up their defense and have a decent offense, they could be a tough team to beat in the playoffs. In the West, the Dallas Mavericks are on fire lately. They've won 9 out of their last 10 games, and Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis are working well together. They're playing more pick and roll, and their chemistry is great. Keep an eye on them. Most of Jalen Green's game is about making jump shots. If he's making them, he looks great. But it's easy for someone to have a few good weeks and then go back to their usual level. However, we have a feeling this might be different for him and for the Rockets. Coach Udoka has a good track record, and they have a talented team with players who fit together well. Everything relies on these guys getting better, especially Jalen Green and Shinu. They need to keep growing and improving, and Houston is becoming a really intriguing team. They're interesting not just for the rest of this season, but also for the future and the offseason. We might see some exciting moves from them. Tell us in the comments, do you think Houston's improvement is for real, or is it just a short streak? Could they make some noise in the playoffs? With all their young talent and potential moves in the offseason, this might be the beginning of an exciting era for Houston basketball. It could be the start of something really cool for the Rockets. Yeah, we gotta give props to Coach Oka, Dylan Brooks, and Fred VanVleet, all for getting those young guys ready for the playoffs. But Golden State's experience makes them hard to bet against. Checking out the East standings, the Celtics are leading, followed by the Bucks, and then the Knicks jump to third. The Cavaliers dropped to fourth after losing to the Hornets.
Okay, you're going to the bench, you're starting, you're playing center, you're the coach. It can get old.
Yeah, I mean, this is, thank God they're in the East. If they were in the West right now, they'd be like 1-6.
The Magic and Pacers round out the top 6. Now, let's talk about some sneaky teams, players, or storylines as the regular season wraps up. Let's call it on the low. We're looking at lesser-known stuff, not the Lakers, Warriors, or Celtics. First up, Orlando, Jonathan Isaac is killing it on defense. He's like having an extra defender out there. If you like this video, show us some love by hitting the like button. Also, to watch such content, smash that subscribe button. Bring it on, folks. Until next time, see you all.